There is a plant growing right now in the swamps and wetlands of North America that produces more food per acre than wheat, corn, or rice. And you have never seen it in a single grocery store in your life. Not one, absolutely not one. Farmers have known about it for decades, and scientists have studied it extensively. Native Americans survived on it for over 10,000 years, and yet somehow this plant completely disappeared from the modern food system. Today, you're going to find out exactly why and what they're not telling you. If this kind of hidden knowledge is what you're here for, hit subscribe right now. There's a lot more where this came from. The plant is called a cattail. You've definitely seen one before. Tall green stalks growing near water, topped with that thick brown head. Most people walk right past them and think nothing of it. But here's what almost nobody knows. Every single part of that plant is edible. The roots, the shoots, the pollen, the seed heads, all of it, year-round. And the calorie output is absolutely insane. 1 acre of naturally growing cattails can produce up to 15,000 calories per day, per acre, per day. To put that in perspective, 1 acre of wheat produces around 3,000 calories. Cattails double it, sometimes triple it. And here's the part that will really get you. Cattails grow completely on their own. No plowing, no fertilizer, no irrigation, no pesticides. They just grow, wildly and aggressively, in wetlands that are often considered useless land that no farmer wants to touch. So how is this not on every table in the world right now? That's exactly what we're going to answer. To understand the full story, you need to go back to the beginning. For thousands of years, indigenous peoples across North America used cattails as a primary food source. They called wetlands their supermarket. And honestly, that's the most accurate description possible. In spring, the young green shoots taste almost exactly like cucumber. You can eat them raw, slice them into salads, or cook them like asparagus. They're crunchy, mild, and genuinely delicious. A little later in the season, the flower heads appear before they fully open, and you can boil them just like corn on the cob. People who've tried them say they taste remarkably similar. Actually similar. Then comes something that most people don't even know plants can produce: pollen. Cattail pollen arrives in early summer in massive golden clouds. A single plant can release enough pollen to fill a small bag within minutes. And this pollen is not just a novelty, it's 15 to 20% protein. You can mix it with regular flour to make pancakes, bread, and muffins. It turns everything a bright golden yellow color and adds a subtle, sweet flavor. Native communities did this routinely. It wasn't survival food, it was good food. But the real powerhouse is underground. The roots, or rhizomes, are loaded with starch. We're talking 30 to 46% starch content. That's higher than a potato. You can dry the roots, grind them into flour, and use it for almost any baking. The flour is gluten-free, worth hundreds of millions in today's market. And then, even in late autumn and winter when everything else has died, the cattail roots are still down there, still full of starch, still edible. This plant literally feeds you in every season of the year. So now you're probably thinking, why isn't this being farmed commercially? Why isn't there cattail flour on the shelf next to almond flour? Why aren't cattail shoots in the produce section? This is where the story gets really interesting, and honestly, a little dark. The answer starts right after World War II. Between the 1950s and the 1970s, the US went through a massive agricultural transformation. The government wanted to expand farmland as fast as possible, to feed a growing population and fuel an export economy. The solution seemed obvious to planners at the time: drain the wetlands. Wetlands were seen as wasted space, mosquito-infested, economically worthless, land that could be turned into corn and soybean fields. And so they did it, aggressively. More than 221 million acres of wetland had been drained. That's an area larger than Texas and California combined. Just gone, pumped dry and plowed under. When you drain the wetlands, you drain the cattails too. The ecosystem was systematically destroyed in just a few decades. The knowledge of how to harvest and use cattails began to fade. It became a thing that wilderness survival books talked about. Cattails went from being a staple food to being a footnote. But some wetlands survived. Cattails still grow aggressively. So why isn't anyone harvesting them commercially? In 1972, the United States passed the Clean Water Act. This was genuinely good news for wetlands. It slowed the destruction. But here's the paradox. The same law made commercial harvesting extremely difficult. You'd be operating in or near protected wetland zones. You'd need environmental permits. You'd need to prove no damage. For a small farmer or startup, that's not just paperwork. That's a wall. Compare that to farming corn. You buy seeds, you plant them, done. There's a clear, well-established system. Cattails don't have that. It's stuck in a strange middle ground where the plant grows wild, on land that is either protected or privately owned by someone unaware. The infrastructure, the equipment, the supply chains, none of it exists. None of it exists because nobody ever built it. Regulation made the investment risky, and the economic window had already closed. There's also a perishability problem. Cattail shoots are incredibly delicate once harvested. Why isn't there cattail flour on the shelf next to almond flour? Without a cold supply chain, getting them to shelves in edible condition is difficult. A single plant can release enough pollen to fill a small bag within minutes, and root starch requires processing steps that the industry hasn't standardized yet. Solving these problems costs money, and money follows existing markets. There is no existing market for cattails, so the money never came. It became a thing that wilderness survival books talked about, simply because the timing was wrong, or they got lost in industrial change. The gap between what they could provide and what actually happened is enormous. Wildly and aggressively, in wetlands that are often considered useless land, water scarcity is becoming a real crisis in agricultural regions. The cost of fertilizer and irrigation is rising every year. 1 acre of naturally growing cattails can produce up to 15,000 calories. A few universities have started running small studies on commercial cultivation. Some foraging communities have revived traditional recipes. It's happening. But if you don't want to wait for the industry, you can start learning yourself. The plant is called a cattail. You've definitely seen one before. The only plant sometimes confused with it is the yellow flag iris. The difference is simple. Cattails have a distinctive cucumber smell. Iris does not. Young shoots are best in early spring when they're between 8 and 14 inches tall. A little later in the season, the flower heads appear before they fully open. The roots give the highest starch content in late autumn. That's the peak. Always be aware of potential contamination from upstream runoff. Tall green stalks growing near water, topped with that thick brown head. Cooking is intuitive. The shoots can go raw into a salad, or sautéed in butter with a pinch of salt. Simple and genuinely good. And you can boil them just like corn on the cob. They taste sweet and starchy, a forgotten delicacy. The pollen can replace up to 50% of regular flour in recipes. It adds a bright golden color and a slight nutty sweetness. For the starch, you crush the roots in cold water and let it settle. Dry the starch and you have a functional, gluten-free, highly nutritious flour. This plant was erased not because it failed, but because the system failed it. Policy, destruction, and industrial timing all worked against it. That's a system failure. And the good news? The plant is still out there, waiting for someone to pay attention again.